Chapter 1, Nutrition in Plants. The process of taking food by an organism as well as the utilization of this food by the organism is called nutrition. Now, why do we need to eat food? Because food gives us energy. This energy is used for the growth and development of the body. It also helps to repair the damaged cells of the body. Modes of nutrition. There are two main modes of nutrition: autotrophs, heterotrophs. Auto means self. Organism, those who can prepare their own food, are known as autotrophs. Heterotrophs are those organisms who depends on plant or other living organism for their food. Now let us study about autotrophs and heterotrophs in detail. Autotrophs are those organisms who can prepare their own food. The process by which they make their own food is known as photosynthesis. Three basic things required for photosynthesis are carbon dioxide, water, and light. Green plants are called autotrophs because they make their own food by photosynthesis. Leaves of green plant have chlorophyll, which gives them a green color. Chlorophyll is very important for photosynthesis as it helps to absorb energy from sunlight. Heterotrophs are those who depends on plants or other animals for their food. Children, why we cannot make our own food? Because our body does not have chlorophyll, which is required for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. The word photosynthesis can be separated to make two smaller words. Photo, which means light. Synthesis means to produce. As plants produce their own food, they are also known as producers. Let us study about the process of photosynthesis by a diagram. A leaf is known as a site for photosynthesis because it has chlorophyll. A plant absorbs carbon dioxide from air, water from soil through roots, and in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll produces glucose and oxygen. Glucose is a form of energy for plants, whereas oxygen is a byproduct which is released into the air and is used by other living organisms. As glucose acts like a food, plant uses it for its growth and development. Extra glucose is stored in the form of starch. As a leaf is producing energy, it is known as food factories of a plant. Conditions necessary for photosynthesis. The presence of carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll, and sunlight is necessary for the process of photosynthesis to take place. Now we will see how the plants obtain carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Plants absorb carbon dioxide from air through leaves. Leaves have tiny openings or pores in them. They are known as stomata. They look like tiny pores. The stomata's opening and closing is controlled by guard cells. When there is a water in guard cells, they swell up and the stomatal pore opens. And when there is no water in the guard cell, the stomatal pores closes. Plants obtain water for photosynthesis from soil through roots. Plant, when absorbs water, it also absorbs mineral, and this water and mineral is transported to different parts of the plant body. through tiny pipe-like vessels called xylem. So we can say that xylem is a bunch of tiny pipes or tubes-like vessels which transport water and minerals from roots to different parts of the plant body. The role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis. For photosynthesis, sunlight is very important. Now, who absorbs the sunlight in plants for photosynthesis? Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green color pigment present in leaves and it helps to absorb light energy from the sun and supplies this energy to the leaves to enable them to carry out photosynthesis for making food. The role of sunlight in photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, plants make glucose by using carbon dioxide and water. Sunlight helps in breaking down of carbon dioxide and water to form glucose, and hence all the food on this earth is made by utilizing solar energy. We can say that sun is the ultimate source of energy for all the living organisms. Children, most of the leaves are green in color. However, leaves have other colors also, like red, purple, brown. So, can we say these leaves don't have chlorophyll and don't perform photosynthesis? The answer is no. These leaves also do photosynthesis. Actually, the large amount of red, violet, brown or other pigments or color in such leaves mask the green color of chlorophyll. Photosynthesis by plant parts other than leaves. Is it possible that a plant can perform photosynthesis other than by leaves? The answer is yes. Take an example of a cactus. Cactus is a desert plant and it performs photosynthesis by stem. Can you see these green stem of a cactus? These green stem of a cactus has chlorophyll and perform photosynthesis. As the leaves are reduced to spine to prevent the loss of water. Photosynthesis by plant parts other than leaves. Is it possible that a plant can perform photosynthesis other than by leaves? The answer is yes. Take an example of a cactus. Cactus is a desert plant and it performs photosynthesis by stem. Can you see these green stem of a cactus? These green stem of a cactus has chlorophyll and perform photosynthesis. As the leaves are reduced to spine to prevent the loss of water. Children, during the rainy season, we have seen patches of slimy green layer floating on the surface of a pond or lake. This green layer is of algae. Now, what are algae? Algae are a large group of simple plant-like organisms. Why we say algae are plant-like organisms? Because algae also looks green in color because of chlorophyll. But an algae is different from plant. It do not have proper roots, stems and leaves. Plants make glucose during the process of photosynthesis. This glucose is also used to make other foods such as starch, oil, protein and vitamins. Let us discuss about these things. Plants make starch as food. Remember students, I told you that plants prepare glucose during photosynthesis. Some of the glucose is used by the plant for its growth and development, while extra glucose is stored in the form of starch. Plants make oils as food. There are certain plants who convert simple carbohydrate or glucose into oils and store them in their seeds. Oil obtained from the seeds are known as vegetable oils, and this oil is used by us for cooking purpose. Plants make proteins as food. When a plant absorbs water from the soil through roots, plant also absorb nitrate minerals present in the soil to make amino acid. This amino acid is further used to make proteins. Plants make vitamins as food. Vitamins are highly complex substances which cannot be produced in humans or animal body. Only plants can produce vitamins. So, humans and animals get the protein from plants. Other modes of nutrition in plants. Surprisingly, there are plants who show heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic plants can be divided into two main groups, parasites and saprophytes. Now let us see who are called parasitic plants or parasites plant. A plant which live in or on the surface of the body of other organisms and derives the food from them are called parasites. An example of parasite plant is Cuscuta. Cuscuta is yellow in color and do not have chlorophyll. As it do not have chlorophyll, it absorbs or takes its food from other living plant. Saprophytes, those non-green plants which obtain their food from dead and decaying organic matters are known as saprophytes. For example, mushrooms. Mushroom is a non-green plant who obtain its food from dead and decaying organic matter by producing digestive juices. Fungi can be useful as well as harmful. Fungi such as mushrooms are eaten as vegetables, whereas penicillium is also a type of fungus used in making antibiotic medicines. But all fungi are not useful to human beings. They are harmful also. For example, fungi causes ringworm in humans. Insectivorous plants. Those green plants which obtain their food partially from insects are called insectivorous plants. For example, Venus flytrap or pitcher plant. In pitcher plant, the leaf of the plant get modified to form hollow tube. This hollow tube is surrounded by tiny hair-like structure inside it, and when an insects fall in this pit, get trapped. So, insectivorous plants feed on insects to obtain the nitrogen compounds needed for their growth, as they partially take their food from insect and from photosynthesis. They are known as partial heterotrophs. Symbiotic plants. When two different varieties of living organisms or plants live together and depend on each other for obtaining food, this type of relationship is called symbiosis relationship. Symbiosis occurs in plants called lichens. In lichens, the green colored plant called algae is autotrophic in nature, and non-green plant fungus is saprophytic in nature, lives together. Now, how do they help each other? Algae, being autotroph, produces the food and supply it to fungus, and fungus in return absorbs the nitrogen and other nutrients from the soil and supply it to algae. Another example of symbiotic relationship is provided by rhizobium bacteria and leguminous plants. Pulses plants are also known as leguminous plant. Here, as leguminous plants are autotrophs, they can perform photosynthesis and produce food, whereas rhizobium bacteria are heterotroph and cannot make its own food. So what happens over here? Leguminous plants provide food to rhizobium bacteria, and in return rhizobium bacteria provides nitrogen, or I can say nitrate, to the leguminous plants required to make protein. When the plants are grown, they absorb the nutrients from the soil for their growth and development. Because of this, the nutrients present in the soil goes on decreasing. Due to this, the plant nutrients are needed to be added from time to time into the soil. Nutrients are replenished in the soil by adding fertilizers and manures. Fertilizers are man-made, or we can say they are chemically produced, whereas manures are made from biodegradable substance like fruits and vegetable peels. Fertilizers and manures contain plant nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So when fertilizers and manures are added in the field, the plants get enriched with the nutrients and shows a proper growth and development. The two most common fertilizers which are used to provide plant nutrients in the field are NPK and urea. NPK fertilizer provides nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium to the soil in the fields. Urea provides only nitrogen. The crop plants grown in the fields require nitrogen in maximum amount to make proteins. Just now we have studied that plant absorbs nitrogen in the form of nitrate and converts them into amino acid to produce proteins. So this is the reason why a plant requires nitrogen in a large amount. Nitrogen can be replenished in the soil by growing leguminous crop. Now let us see how leguminous crops increases nitrogen content in the soil. The roots of leguminous plant is a home of rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria is special because this bacteria can convert nitrogen gas of air into nitrogen compound, which can be further absorbed by the plant to produce protein. Cells. In biology, a cell is the smallest unit of life. All living organisms, whether plants, animals or humans, are made up of cells. But plant and animal cells are different in structure. Figure 16 is the general diagram of an animal cell. Cell membrane. Cell membrane is the outer covering of a cell. Cytoplasm. The fluid of the cell is called cytoplasm. Nucleus. Nucleus is known as the brain of the cell. Mitochondria. Mitochondria are known as powerhouse of the cell. Vacuole. Now let us see the general diagram of a plant cell. A plant cell also has cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, mitochondria, vacuole, but it has two extra structure. One, cell wall to provide extra protection, and second, chloroplast. Chloroplast contains chlorophyll which gives green color to the leaves.
Children, we are done with the explanation of the chapter. I hope you all have enjoyed the video and have learned some important things. See you in my next class.